welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Krista Olsen-dibsie, co-founder of Beauty Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping women cancer care.
Yes.
Recovering from cancer?
Yes.
Okay. But you're also helping, I saw one father.
Yeah, well, we've
anyway, hello and welcome to the show. Okay. So this is unusual, a kind of connection. The Beauty Foundation for Cancer Care. Mm-hmm. Tell us something about the mission.
Well, the mission used to be just helping women going through cancer care, and now we've expanded the mission to, we like to say, for family care. Right, care. So now it's the Beauty Foundation for Family Care. We recently helped our first man going through cancer treatment, and now we've opened it up to children.
What kind of help do you offer? It's rather your foundation is rather unique.
It's unique because we get right to the family and help them.
You give direct money grants to family, but the grants are for what?
Costs incurred by the families who are struggling, that can't afford certain things like prescriptions, things that are not covered by insurance, and they're wiped out because of their medical bills.
There's a reason why your group, Krista, is called the Beauty Foundation.
Because we find the beauty in all the people. It takes a courageous person to go through cancer treatment. We've seen the devastation it can do to a person physically, emotionally, and to their family. So if you're a woman and you're going through cancer treatment and you have to run the household and your husband has to work more now because you have to pay the bills, how are you going to get through that? And you're going through cancer treatments and you have kids at home and you need to still cook and clean and everything. So we not only monetary grants, we've also provided meals delivered, cleaning services, wigs for women that can't afford it.
I thought there was a very nice touch in the fact that, in fact, you recently had a rather large donation from that's how we found out about you. It was in the Wall Street Journal, from Mr. Warren Diamond, I believe. And who had himself gone through the trauma and loss of his wife after cancer care. And I think he said something about just being able to buy every woman who has suffered hair loss from chemo a new wig is in itself a big morale booster.
Yes, yes. And sometimes it is the little things that you forget about that mean so much to somebody. Right. I think it's showing someone kindness and that you care, and you forget that sometimes these families or women or men are choosing between, paying their mortgage and shopping, doing the food shopping for their children, and then buying a wig. Forget it. That's on the low end of the priority list. So to help provide that to someone, and because if someone can't afford that, or even special
undergarments, foundations, things that are necessary for that woman's own physical well-being and really her own feeling of still being a woman.
Right, and there's a lot to be said about being positive through the treatment and feeling good about yourself. It helps go a long way. So we try and make it easier.
And also, Krista, I was reading some of the stories on your website, which I'll ask you to tell us about, but also, it makes it makes the whole family feel better. Yeah. If mom looks better and feels better, it's not a denial of what's going on, but it's an attempt to maintain as normal a balance of life as possible for the caretakers as well as for the participants.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who interviews the families? How do you find the families that are qualified to receive your direct? It's really direct money grants, right?
Mostly money grants.
Without a lot of bureaucracy.
Right. We don't judge on age or financial status or anything like that. All they have to do, they go to the website and they fill out.
So families who are in need, who have a cancer survivor in their
someone
family,
going through chemo treatment.
Going through chemo treatment. Yeah. They apply to and we'll put your website. And then how do you validate them? What do you do? Do you have a personal interview?
We do the application. We ask for a doctor's note. Somebody contacts them from the foundation to speak to them on the phone. And we find out how severe the situation is. And we try to get them whatever they need right away, whether it is money, meals delivered. Even if we can't get them money right away, maybe we can get them a meal delivery tomorrow. Maybe we can get them house cleaning because they.
So whoever it is, you might be able to offer a service if you can't get the money.
Exactly, and we respond pretty fast, which people have commended us on. Yeah, pretty fast. Well, and so we just, as soon as we get the letter and the doctor's note.
How old is your organization?
It's just about 4 years old, and we've just really been growing and growing since we started. And we just had our last Saturday, we had our we have different fundraisers throughout the years, but our biggest fundraiser, the Beauty Ball we call it, we had it last week. It was our most successful one yet, and we're very excited about it. So.
Right. So it's kind of a unique function. It really is. It's almost. How long do you keep the assistance going, Krista?
As long as they need, and we try to reach out to the people because we don't want them to feel that they can't reach out to us again if they need, because we have women that have gone through cancer treatment. They've gone through it once, they thought they were in remission, and they go again. They find a cancer somewhere else, and we want to know that they can come back to us if they're in need.
So any family or group of families can come back, and you maintain this kind of support system for them.
Mm-hmm. And we have a girl who's 21 that we just helped and honored. And the first thing we did for her, she's a college student and she couldn't get through school. We immediately bought her a Nook. She needed that. She wanted that in the hospital, the reading devices.
Oh, yes.
And it was so to see her. She was like, "You don't even know me. Why?" And we said, "Because this is something you need." And it made her life easier, and it got her through those.
What is that, kind of an electronic reading device?
Yeah, so she could read her books in the hospital, when she was in the hospital. And we've just branched out. We've been helping some of the kids over at one of the hospitals in our area.
You're in New Jersey?
Yes. Yeah. And at the hospital, we replaced all their gaming systems in the rooms, the Wiis and the Xboxes and things. Right. And it sounds like nothing, but when you're a kid and you're stranded in the hospital and you can't leave your room because you have no immune system, those video games mean a lot. So we've done things like that as well. So we branch out.
You really touch on some of the unusual things that might not be that aren't insurable.
Right.
And that a government grant wouldn't pay for.
Exactly.
But they're the kind of commodities or services that touch the soul of the person.
Exactly. And we've honored people. We honor 4 women every year at our beauty ball who just kind of touch us with their stories. We call them Women of Courage. We always call them Women of Courage when we're going through this, because we've branched out now. Maybe next year it won't just be for women. These are things we have to discuss. And like I said, we do this direct grants and meals and house cleanings, and we also do, like I was saying about the hospitals, our next venture is we're doing a prom for the kids that are stuck in the hospitals who can't go to their proms. So we're going to throw them a prom at the hospital.
Yeah. Are you a group of women that run this foundation?
Yes, we're a group of 8 women, beautiful women,
right.
And we just.
When you say beautiful, you mean beautiful in the heart too.
Of course, that's what I mean.
Yeah, right. And so it's kind of like when you talk about these kids and some of the women too, and the kinds of things it's almost like you react as mothers to some of these kids.
Yes.
I suppose many of the 8 are mothers.
Yes.
Yeah. You react as a mother or as a family member or as a very close friend, because the things that these women need so desperately and may not be able to afford or can't afford are the kinds of commodities that you who run the foundation as women understand and respect.
Exactly. And one of our board members, her daughter, who's 15 now, had cancer and has gone through that. She's clear now, thank goodness. She still has to go through checkups and everything, but she went through it, and that's kind of a chance meeting. We met her, and she really goes out there and works her heart off for us.
Right. Well, also, I mean, one of your biggest benefactors that I just read about, who really wanted to focus on doing things that help women with their physical appearance, such as Wicks. That's also someone who had gone through. I suppose that many of your benefactors come from folks who've gone through this kind of trauma themselves.
Yeah, a lot. And people, I think, just look at us and think, wow, what a great thing you're doing. Like myself, luckily, I haven't had, knock on wood, I haven't had to deal with cancer myself. I've had people close to me that have. My aunt died of cancer. And a lot of friends, it's left and right. I turn around and I said, oh my gosh, this one's got cancer, that one's got cancer. And I've seen what women have to go through. I've seen the devastation it can do to a family. So just to help out, and the rest of us as well. We've all been on our board. We've all been affected by it.
It's rare that in today's world that you don't know somebody, a close friend or a family member.
And it's scary. We're all at risk, and it's very scary. I worry for myself.
Right. And even with all the research that has been going on, it seems like the eradication there doesn't seem to be very close.
Right. And we don't know. We don't know when it will be or if it will be. So just helping people get through it, and medicine has come a long way, which is great, but prescriptions are still expensive too. Once they're through the chemo and radiation or whatever it is, those monthly prescriptions, a lot of people, they can't afford it. So we come in and offer a little bit of peace and make it a lither bit easier for them.
Make it easier for them. Well, I think the other thing I know this show is getting your money's worth, and what we've read about you that's appealing is the fact that this is a foundation that's run by a group of women who have money at their disposal that's been raised, and make a direct purchase or go out there and find a person that can come in and do the laundry,
right.
or give a very direct service and either pay for it, give the maid to pay for it without a waiting period, without a lot of paperwork, without a lot of what I'm going to call the usual bureaucracy.
Well, I think that's what happened. I think.
How did you guys get that formula?
Well, I think that's what happened is that we knew, a lot of us knew people going through cancer treatment, and we would listen to their stories and say, my gosh, that's terrible. It shouldn't be that way. Or, I know somebody who's waiting for a treatment right now because the insurance papers got messed. Somebody, some red tape somewhere got messed up with her paperwork, and because of the paperwork not being through, her cancer treatment has to wait. Well, her cancer is only getting worse as she has to wait. That's just terrible. That's unheard of. So we said we've got to do something to just help him directly, to get him move faster. Obviously, we're not doctors and we can't go in and treat them,
right.
But to help for the other things.
Move the process along.
Move the process for the other things, because at the same time that they're worrying about their own health, they're worrying about their family, and like you said, especially the ones with young children, keeping it normal, helping the children understand.
Right,
exactly.
Helping the family to get it.
Exactly.
Right.
And just those things. Even the people that work with us, the people that we have that say, well, absolutely, we'll do the meal delivery for you, and even if we're paying for one day, they send much more than that. And then we get the calls, oh my gosh, they send things for my kids. They sent us a week's worth of food, and
right.
It's very nice how everybody just gets very.
Everyone kind of rallies around.
Yeah, everybody gets generous, and it's nice.
Yeah.
And I think I think generosity is. Actually, Warren said that to me. He said generosity is contagious, and it is.
That is.
Especially when you've got something at such a great cause,
yeah.
and we're all, it's 100% goes to the families.
Right.
We don't take any
none
salaries
of you guys take any salaries or any overhead.
This is all
expenses.
volunteer.
Right. Well, I think that's also something that really goes to the heart of anyone who'd want to donate it, because all of us fear, donating to some large bureaucratic BMS that skims off the top and leaves some little,
right.
and then that itself becomes a bureaucracy.
And it's needed. Those large organizations are needed, and people's salaries have to get paid. People have to work.
Yeah, right.
And that's nice. But I think especially more local people know, wow, if I give to this, 100% of it is going to families.
And you found a little niche where you guys can operate and do good for people and get some satisfaction out of it also.
Exactly.
Well, thanks. We really enjoy hearing about your story. We'll put up your website on our show, and hopefully inspire others to both donate to your fund and know that there's a helpline out there that they can call if, as you say, none of us want it, but if it just so happens that that was what they need to do to reach you.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you so
much. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth. I'm Judith West. We just interviewed Krista Olsen-dibsie, founder of the Beauty Foundation for Cancer Care. Thanks for watching.